guys. So to clarify, this is not exactly a Slay the Spire video. This is a Let's Talk video. The reason I have a game up is for the sake of I need something to distract me while I talk about this, otherwise I'm gonna... it's just helpful to me. So, I guess I'm gonna explain to you guys what the fuck is going on in my life, because most people who watch this know me, at least somewhat personally, and for those who don't, well, fuck, I might as well be an open book. Hopefully fucking planning on leaving this place I'm in behind, both metaphorically and literally. So, yeah. By the way, I'm sorry if I do a lot of misplays. I know. I'm not fucking focused on the game. So, I guess let's start with the beginning. If you don't know, have social anxiety, as well as just regular anxiety. Just social is the main aspect of it. Kind of started around when I was younger. I would pretty much do anything in my power to just not have to be alone. I would make myself be someone else. It was in a different way back then, though. I guess that wasn't really social anxiety. That was, I guess, just fear of being alone. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I just know that's pretty much how I was. It never really had too much effect on me, in all honesty, to the point where it was a massive issue in my life until really, about 2 years ago at this point, where it just spiked up massively, where I couldn't even get myself to leave a room without just absolutely freaking out, breaking down, and I don't know, everything was so overwhelming. I was just scared. The thought of having to even just talk to someone for some reason horrified me. I felt like I was in danger, and there's no real reason why. It just, everything seemed like so much. And it got to the point where I could occasionally leave that room for food, but I couldn't leave that room, and therefore I couldn't leave the house. And I know it might sound stupid if you have no idea what I'm talking about, but it was a lot for me. And because of that whole scenario, I became known as a truant. Which, if you don't know what that is where if pretty much you skip school, and that's illegal, obviously. Which I guess it's not exactly obviously, but I wasn't doing this because I didn't want to go to school. I was doing this because the thought of being around people, the thought of being in somewhere that I can't escape from quickly, the thought of being just so vulnerable in so vulnerable of a situation, it horrified me. And I couldn't fucking get myself to go. Hell, fucking I doubt any of you know this. I visit my grandmother semi-often, just for the sake of she's my grandmother, and yeah, my whole situation with my family's weird, blah blah blah. She is the closest thing blood-wise that I have to a mother at the time, and so I'm relatively close with her. She likes to go to amusement parks and shit, which, occasionally when I go down there, we'll go, and You know, amusement parks are fun as shit, but it's just the fact of the matter is, I pretty much had to just make up bullshit excuses. Like, every time she wanted to go, I knew for the fact of if I went, I was going to have a breakdown. Which, if you don't understand what a breakdown really looks like, at least for me, this is what it looks like. It's almost as if I'm in a fit of rage, but not at anyone, not at anything. Just screaming, crying. I can barely seem to comprehend anything that's going on around me. It's not a good thing, and the fact of the matter is, that would just ruin her fucking time there. So pretty much every time she would want to go, I would just fake being sick or some stupid shit like that. Because I didn't want to ruin her time, which I still stand by that being the right choice there. That's not important though. Fact of the matter is, it was impeding me, first off, more importantly, from being able to do what I fucking had to, which is go to school. Because I'm sorry, but school's fucking important. Here's the thing. Realistically, I did end up learning everything that I needed to up in the end of it, but just the fact of the matter is, that social aspect of school, I think, is partially of what kept me in place, kept me able to function around people, and when that all went away, I pretty much, because the whole me it spiking up was around the same time that I got sick for about a week. No, it was a few weeks. It was either 2 or 3. It was something fucking bad, and pretty much being away from people that long, it fucked me up. And to the point where that, on top of everything that was going on around the time, which I'm not gonna get into that because that's hello hitting the mic. That has to do with death and fucking family shit, and even now I'm not in the best familial situation. But that's not the point. The point is, eventually, the court got involved, and I had to go to court hearings regularly. I believe in total there was about 6, with still one upcoming in October. So I'm gonna have to actually fly back here for that, I think. Which is kind of gonna suck, but fucking what am I gonna do, right? Uh, and pretty much those kind of around the time, I guess, that everything. Because I don't know if you guys do this, but when shit's bad, I kind of just choose to not see it. Not really intentionally, it just. My mind chooses to not really acknowledge, hey, this is the truth about this thing, and I'm really not going to get into specifics here, but there is a lot of issues between me and the other 2 people in this house, being Steve and Leanne, being the people who are my legal guardians. And there's just a lot of issues. And there had been a lot of issues for a long time. And the fact of the matter is, I didn't want to see it. I wanted to get to be a normal kid, to just have a bunch of friends, to get to be happy, and that just wasn't gonna happen, realistically. Um, God, I sound like a fucking edgelord. Um, so, not long story short, moving on, I guess. I'm sorry, this is very hard, confusing, and the fact that I didn't write a script doesn't make this easier. sorry that doing so many pauses, it's just challenging for me, you know? So, as time went on, I ended up having to get signed up for this thing that was called Homebound, which, first off, just great start. The teacher that I was supposed to have for Homebound didn't do his fucking job. He would pretty much give me the work, but the fact of the matter is, I needed to learn shit, and he would just okay. What Homebound is they go get your work from the school and they bring it to you or to the library or wherever the fuck you're planning on doing it, and you have to meet a certain amount of hours a week. That's how it goes. And so I was very much willing to do this because the fact of the matter is, I wanted to continue getting my education. As much as obviously I didn't like the school setting, because, well, no one does. I didn't want to just not go to school anymore. Just, I don't know, the thought of that, I just didn't want it. I wanted to continue going to school. I wanted to get to be a normal kid, as I fucking said earlier. And so I was very happy to do this homebound thing. But he would bring the work to me, some of it. So I found this out actually near the end of it. Apparently, he only gave me like a quarter of my work. The first homebound teacher, because I'm gonna say a really big difference here. I had two homebound teachers. One being shit at his job. The other actually doing what he was fucking supposed to. And, you know, I'm really thankful for that one, because the fact of the matter is, without him, I don't think... I think I would have ended up in a lot worse of a situation. So, on top of only bringing me like a quarter of my work, he would just give me the work, and then sit there next to me on his phone. Not really... If I said something was hard and I needed help, he would be like, oh, you can probably get it. You're smart. No, that's not your fucking job. Your job is to help me, to teach me the shit that I don't know, which I get if you're, you know, if that's hard and shit, but, like, this is the job you signed up for. Come the fuck on. And listen, I'm not trying to be bratty. I'm just saying, like, this guy was actually really fucking detrimental to me. And eventually, as time went on, I had to get a therapist court-ordered, and... Oh, I actually forgot about this part. I had to go to an outpatient thing, which it was pretty much outpatient or go to inpatient. I don't know if you guys know how inpatient is, but that is pretty much a scenario where... Oh, cool. If you're an inpatient, you're in the hospital. You aren't allowed to leave. You aren't allowed to have your phone, a pencil. People are rarely even allowed to see you, and the fact of the matter is, as much of an exaggeration as it's going to sound, it's pretty much you are like a prisoner in the hospital, especially in certain situations, like getting put into a mental ward, because that ended up happening to one of my friends, which I'm not going to say names or explain their situation, because that's their situation. But from their experience, it's a prison. It is literally a prison. You know, okay, I will say a few things about their experience for the sake of, as long as I don't say a name, they should be fine. There were cells, you would have roommates, you got a really shit bed, you weren't allowed to have anything personal. For some reason, you were allowed to have some electronics. Nothing with a camera, which that alone just sketches me out about that place that she went to. If you were having a freak out, they would just inject you with something to get you to pretty much fall asleep. And everything around there was just so grim. From when they got out of there, they were clearly in a much worse state than they had been in a while. Because the fact of the matter is, in inpatient, their job isn't to get you better. Their job is to keep you, quote-unquote, safe. Which, most people, it ends up making them a lot worse. And I think, in all honesty, for me, it probably would have fucked me up. And so I went to this whole outpatient thing. It pretty much took the same slot as school would, and the program didn't help me for shit, if I'm being honest. What did is the people. Because getting to be around other people who were messed up in certain ways, just getting to see them, how they would cope with shit, and that I think genuinely helped me. And there was even a person there who I became semi-friends with for the time that they were around, because they ended up getting moved to the 18 plus side. 18 plus being like, because I was a minor, so I was in the minor side, they were in the adult side afterwards, because they had just turned 18, so like mid their time there. So yeah, they were cool. They were really cool. And hey, if you're watching this, thanks. You made the first few days of that a lot more bearable. Yeah, there's just, the people were a lot more helpful there than that actual program, which, you know, that program, I'm sure it could help some people, just, it wasn't helpful for me, but it did get me out of inpatient, and I even managed to prevent myself from getting put on meds, which, I don't know if you know this about me, I despise meds. I don't trust anything that can fuck with me mentally, and, well, meds are something that can do that. If it's physical medication, so like aspirin or shit like that, I'm fine with it, but mental meds I've just always been so sketched out by, which I know that sounds kind of stupid, but that's just how I am. And so, as time went on, I pretty much began to start trying to go back to school. What ended up happening is I would try and go for, I wouldn't go to the classes and shit, but I would at least be in the library while I was doing homebound. And so I would do whatever work I had on me, and whatever work any teachers came in to get me. And I would just sit in the library and do my work. And the fact is, not many people in the library. So the point of it was to try and get me used to the school environment again, get me used to being around people again, which, in my opinion, I think it was fucking smart as shit. It didn't end up working for me that much. It got me, oh, you know, no, that's a lie. It did help a lot, actually, thinking about it, because that ended up getting me able to go to the library for my second homebound teacher, so that pretty much continued throughout the year, and I even got to spend a bit of time with my friend who would come to the library for lunch, for their lunch, to hang out with me, and I would request that I take my lunch during theirs, which librarians were okay with, school was okay with, blah, blah, blah. And, pretty much as time went on, it got to the point where it was just determined that certain events happened, and I plummeted again. I was back to the point where I couldn't leave the house, and it was horrible. And at that point, they were like, okay, well, you know what, we'll have you set up on a permanent homebound, because my homebound teacher, at some point, just kind of stopped fucking coming, which, not too sure about the details, but I'm pretty fucking sure he's not allowed to just stop coming if he fucking chooses to. Cause, you know, it's his fucking job. I have no idea what happened about that to this day, but, you know, I'm still kind of mad about it, in all honesty. That may sound stupid, but, yeah, no, I'm mad. Anyways, I got assigned a new homebound teacher, which, God, I almost said his name, that would have been bad, because not supposed to say names on this scenario. Whatever. He was really great. He actually went through, he taught me shit. He was able to teach me math, which I don't know if you have ever tried to self-teach math. It is a pain in the ass, and near fucking impossible, to self-teach. Which is what I was pretty much having to try and do beforehand. And he actually taught me what we were learning, and as the year progressed, in math, I passed, and I had pretty much been out for 3/4 of the year, technically, at the end, like, if you're looking at it, you know, if you're looking at it as, like, how much did I miss? Yeah, I was pretty much out for 3/4 of the fucking year. And the fact that he was able to get me to pass in math, almost pass in science, first off, and then he was able to get me to do enough English to the point where I was caught up with the English teacher's class, and she said I would pass at least. We'll get into that soon. But yeah, no, I was in a really good scenario. Thanks, Sam. Which thanks, a shitload. If you're watching this, you were a massive help. Fuck, this would be just such a shitty scenario if I hadn't had your help with this. So thanks a shitload, man. Um, sorry, I'm going off on tangents. The point is, over summer, I was to try and better myself, which is pretty much what my goal throughout that summer was. And I did my best, but I wasn't able to tell myself that much. I tried going back to school. Again, I even got to go to school I was going to, which, that was great. But the fact of the matter was, I still just wasn't ready. I wasn't okay. And so, after the first week, just having a breakdown every day, having to just sit in the school social worker's office, at some point she mentioned, hey, this is all a lot, so maybe you'd rather go for the GED, which... that sucks. Sorry, just realizing we die. Oh well. She mentioned the GED, which, if you don't know what that is, that's General Education Diploma, and it was pretty much my out. So, you had to be 16 and a half to be able to apply to the thing, and you would go to classes, learn what you need to get to pass the General Education Diploma test, and if you passed it, you got your diploma. For college, you'd have to do a bit more work, but, pretty much that looked as a way that I could get out of the scenario. I could truly focus on making myself better. I could focus on therapy. I could focus on figuring out how to stop a breakdown, how to nip it in the ass before it can actually come up and affect me. And so I took it, and at that point, we pretty much decided, hey, what's going to happen is we're going to have you go on homebound until you turn 16 and a half. And once that time comes, okay, once that time comes, you'll go in, and it should take a few months of having to go to classes, which, fact of the matter is, I still wouldn't have been prepared to go to those classes, because I still wouldn't have been used to being around people. But I was willing to deal with it, just for the sake of, hey, this is one of those scenarios where I need to get shit done, and this is a way that I'll be able to do it, so that I'll be able to focus on getting better. I need to take this chance. That's the way I saw it. And so, fast forward, I ended up actually becoming, oddly, my homebound teacher was very chill, and most of the time we would just talk about shit while I was doing my work, and if I didn't understand something, I'd say it, and he would actually explain it to me really well, and especially with history, by the way. He also got me to pass in history the year prior. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, no, he was really good at teaching me history. I don't know, he just seemed to teach it in a way that I actually remembered shit, which is really hard for me because history's always been my roughest subject. That's not the point. This is new. Oh. Oh, that's cool. Cool. So fast forward until when I turn 16 and a half, and I go in, to the building where I'm taking the pretty much pre-exams to see if you're able to get into either of the programs. Because there's a program where you have to then take where you're deemed like not smart enough to go through the courses to then take the GED test. So you then go through courses to take a test to put you into the GED program. And I took the test. I was very confident of it because, in all honesty, all the questions just seemed like very basic shit to me. And at the end of it, um, I found out I didn't qualify for any of the things, which, wow, that is kind of when I thought everything was over. That is when I thought I'm fucked. That this was kind of my only fucking chance, and it's gone. But apparently, what happened is they were looking at the wrong answer key because there's different packets so people can't cheat off each other. Yeah, no, apparently they were looking off the wrong answer key for me, and so for the sake of authenticity, they had to have me come in and retake it. And it was a different test this time, but same general questions. And I got good enough score to just go straight to the GED test. And after taking then all of the placement tests to pretty much see, hey, what do you need to learn before you're ready to take the GED test, they pretty much just decided, you're good. You are already ready to take the GED test, which that was just amazing for me to hear. And ironically enough, the place where I took the test was near the school I went to, which that was just that was kind of I don't know. It was nice to have it. It was kind of poetic to have it all in there, you know. Just simple as that. Keep it nice simple. And so pretty much after the whole GED thing, the plan from there was I wanted to give myself about a 1 month resting period, and after that 1 month period, I wanted to start trying to work. I wanted to get a job, and then pretty much the job would be to get me ready to be around people again. And after that job, I wanted to, well, after I had worked that job for a while, I wanted to eventually go to college, which I still do. The fact of the matter is, those student loans are a thing, and it's kind of just going to make college a rough, hard thing to do for me, which apparently I didn't know about this technicalities exist due to my whole living situation, that I might be able to just get a scholarship based on that, which is great to know. Thanks Masami for that information, by the way. But certain events happened that deemed it on top of the fact of this place was just slowly being deleterious. I was just slowly going to get worse and worse if I stayed in this house, which I still am going to get worse and worse if I stay here. But on top of that, things were happening with someone who I was very close to the point where I needed to be there for them. And I need to be there in person. Just because, listen, there's only so much you can do to help someone online. And the fact of the matter is, this person, I was close to them, to their family, and apparently their family is actually very fond of me, which is just great to know, in all honesty, because that just means, hey, you know, already going to be on good terms with them. That's great. Which, that's where I'm moving, by the way. For the whole, hey, I'm moving, I need to make a massive backlog, that thing. And so, that came up, and pretty much, I guess that leads us to where we are now. Things kind of kept getting worse and worse. It seemed like one bad thing after another, and I'm pretty much just hoping that I can ride shit out until the day I leave, which is early June, which is less than a month from now at this point. So, once I'm there, hopefully, because I'm not in this house, because I'm with different people, because I'm gonna be honest, again, I won't get into specifics. I'm not meant to live with Steve and Leanne, just they are. I don't know why, but I don't think I was exactly the kind of kid that they would have appreciated or expected. I think at this point they see me as a task. And I could back that up with a few things they've said, with a few things they've done, but I'm not going to, because it's not important. Fact of the matter is, I'm getting out of here. I'm hopefully going to get better. And hey, maybe once that happens, I'll be able to make an update being like, hey, I'm in a better place right now. Maybe I'll even be able to, if I can upload more regularly. Like, hey, maybe a daily uploads eventually. Fucking kidding, by the way. Don't take me seriously on that. I guess what I want to say as the end of this is, I want to thank everyone. I want to thank my friends. I want to thank my best friend. I want to thank people taking me in. I want to thank my homebound teacher. I want to thank my friend at school. I want to thank that person who was in the outpatient thing too. I appreciate the shit out of everything all of you have done to help me get to this point. Shit. And that's pretty much my life up to this point. So, there it is. I've told some people I'm an early graduate, which no, it's just the GED thing. It's pretty much an early graduate in all honesty, but the fact of the matter is college I'll need to do more. Um, if I don't get any extra, I pretty much have to go for extra education in some form, because otherwise they're gonna be like, oh, why is the GED your last form of education? Did you just not want to go to high school? Which, no, that's not the case, because, well, I was informed after passing the whole test that if I wanted to, I could continue to try and go to high school, and I'm considering once I move trying to. It's gonna be hard because the place I'm moving to, not English speaking as the first language, so I would have to learn that language relatively quickly. But I know while I'm there, I at least want to pursue more education. Maybe just take some random classes, baking, game design, art, fucking sewing, anything. I don't know. This is pretty much the next part of my life, I guess, because hell, I said goodbye to everyone who I'm still able to contact, because I never got to say a proper goodbye to most of them, and I guess it was more so for me, for the sake of this part of my life is over. It's time to move on to the next part. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed getting to know about me. Well, don't worry, most of my videos won't be this serious, and I think that's it. I see y'all in the next episode. Have a great day, and have a great life.